Hello and welcome to my channel, or if this is your first time watching, welcome. My name is Kristen and today I am going to be filming a kind of a get ready with me makeup tutorial video. Was kind of running out of some inspiration, but I was talking with some friends and family last weekend and they highly encouraged me to do a video like this. So I hope it is helpful. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you with answering them. I do freelance makeup a little bit less often than I used to, but I'm kind of getting back into it at least next month, working a couple of weddings. I get complimented on my makeup very often and would love to share any tips and tricks that I have with you guys, and hopefully this is helpful. Also, I am drinking a sparkling ice strawberry Starburst flavor. If you haven't tried it, it tastes almost identical to the Starburst. I know in a past video I had mentioned that I gave up candy for Lent. Until 2 days ago, I was doing a great job. Actually it was last weekend, I ordered a M&M McFlurry, not thinking about the M&Ms. And so that officially broke it. And then this week while Cameron was traveling, in our candy stash, there were a bunch of Sour Punch straws, which are my absolute favorite candy. And so I did eat a pack of those and highly regretted it after. And so I haven't had any other candy since. This is kind of getting my fix in and it tastes absolutely delicious. So cheers and let's do some makeup. Okay, so this is my skin completely clean. I just took off some pimple patches that I had on. I don't know what is going on in between my eyes right now, but yeah, something's going on there and I've been messing with it. So I had a pimple patch on there. I have some sort of cyst situation right here on my neck and I have a small spot over here. I am finishing my time of the month, so it could be something to do with that, but I'm gonna need to cover all this up and I'm gonna need it to be gone by Easter Sunday. And today is Good Friday, so happy Good Friday. Maybe this could be a little tutorial for y'all to do your makeup on Easter Sunday. To be completely transparent with you, all that I have on my skin right now is this NIVEA cream. And that is because I was putting it on my arms and legs after I got out of the shower. And I absolutely love the, I don't know if you can see it in here, but because it's been a couple hours ago, but this gives you a really nice shine on your arms and legs. It's a tiny bit on the oilier side, so be mindful of that whenever you're putting your clothes on, but it does give a really nice hydrating glow to the skin, and my skin is very dry. So that is what I have on currently, and I'm going to put on a tiny bit of primer. This is my favorite primer. I've mentioned it before, and I have one on my sink, and then I have one in my makeup bag. I'll show you the one in my makeup bag because it looks a little bit cleaner, but this is the One Size Beauty. Can you see it? I don't know if it's focusing. There we go. One Size Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. It is a higher end product. I'm sure there's a dupe out there for this, but this is what I have used for the last 3 or 4 years. Oof, this guy is sore to touch. I've used it the last 4 years, especially in the Disney parks. It is just my tried and true. It goes on clear and doesn't pill or anything like that. It sits really nicely under any type of foundation. I've worn powder foundation with this underneath and liquid. So I just kind of put that on first. I like to do eyes first because I like to be kind of messy and I can go in and clean it up and then put my face on. So for eyes, I start with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is in the color Sin, I believe. My eyelids are oily and I have long lashes, so when my lashes touch my eyelids, my mascara used to transfer. Now that I've been using tubing mascara, that doesn't really happen so often. But this one does have a shimmer to it. I don't know if you can tell. I'll get close up and even swatch some on my hand here in a second so you can see. But this is really pretty by itself if you are ever in a hurry. It doesn't necessarily add coverage, it's just shimmer. The shimmer. So that's very pretty, and that is what I use as my first step on my eyelids. Honestly, those tubes are kind of expensive as well, but I think I've had that one for a year at least. From there, what have I been using? I'll just show you what I have packed in my makeup bag, like when I travel. I have this ColourPop Wild Nothing palette. The eyeshadows that are in there, you can tell they're well loved. Then I have a Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize Bigger Brighter Eyes Filter palette that I travel with as well. And then I do have like a couple of eyeshadow toppers from Urban Decay, Space Cowboy and Starlight. And I have this Artisan Couture Diamond Bronze eyeshadow as well. That's really sparkly. Sometimes I want some glimmer shimmer going on. Normally my go-to is just do something kind of neutral in the crease. So we'll just start there. I'm using this Vagabond shade and Top Down. I'm using this one mixed with this one together, and I'm putting it on a fluffy brush. Gosh, this is so old. Just a fluffy brush like this. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Fluffy brush. And I'm just doing windshield wiper motions in my crease. And this is going to be just like my neutral base to build off of. I can either do a fun eyeshadow on my lid, I can do something darker to make it look more smoky and dramatic, or I can do something shimmery. But either way, this is a good eyeshadow to have on in the middle that goes with everything. So that this is part of my normal everyday makeup look, truly. I do something like this in the crease. And since I'm just at home today, not doing much, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna throw on a shimmer on my lid. This one is the shade Alcove right here. Anything with shimmer on it goes on better when I apply it with my finger rather than a brush. I think sometimes the sparkle pigments get lost on the brush, but they transfer much better with the heat of your fingertips. So that is what I like to do. Just put that on and on my lid. Go back in with whatever's left on my brush and just kind of blend that all together. I did recently purchase new pads for my eyelash curler. This is an expensive eyelash curler. I do highly recommend this one. There's nothing like it. It's the Troy Surratt lash curler, and I just bought some replacement pads. It was like $10, and they sent me like 5 replacement pads, so I will be set for a long time. Something that sometimes you don't really think about, if you have a crack or crease building up in your eyelash curler pad, the last thing you want to do is damage your eyelashes or for them to like snap off or break off. Check on that. That's what was happening with mine, and it was just time. And I do curl my lashes every day. That's a part of my morning routine when I go to my workout class. I don't put on any makeup or anything like that, but I do curl my lashes, and it just makes me look a little bit more awake. My lashes hold a curl really well, and this is the best eyelash curler you will ever use. I would say just go ahead and invest in a good one. Before I curl my lashes, what I like to do is tight line my tight line my upper lash line. I'm using Stila, the Stay All Day Smudge Stick, waterproof eyeliner in Spice, and I'll show you what color it looks like. It's a warm brown. I have green eyes, so this helps pull the green out of my eyes. And I just tight lined this eye only, and you might be able to tell it just kind of opens my eye a little bit more and defines my lash line without me having to put any eyeliner on the top of my lid. On most days, that's all I do. Here recently, I've actually been adding a little bit of eyeliner on the outer third of my eye, which I'll show you. This is a very put together look, just kind of fills in that gap between your eyelid and your eyeball. That kind of has that tan flesh color to it and just adds that depth there. And I think it makes a huge difference in your eyes. Yeah, I do it no matter what. You could leave it at this, or I'm gonna take it a step further and I'm just going to put on a little bit of eyeliner just on the outer third of my eye like I had mentioned. This is an Urban Decay eyeshadow called Double Life. I'm gonna sharpen it really quick. And mine is getting very short. I'm gonna need a new one. This is a like shimmery brown. Sorry, I'd wiped the Stila one off and it's still staying on there, but you can see that's a shimmery brown. It's a more diffused eyeliner, so you can't really mess this up putting it on because it is very blendable, but I'm just going to smudge a little bit on the outer third of my lash line. Okay, I've just done it on this eye and not this eye. Hopefully you can see. It just adds a little bit of depth and lift to the outer corner of your eye. Okay, from there, and I don't have on my pointy nails anymore. I just redid them yesterday. I'm going to just kind of clean up literally with my fingernail and just kind of drag up a little bit just to turn the edges out, and it makes like the tiniest little wing. Sometimes I'll even go in and put a tiny bit of liquid liner just to define it. Nothing too harsh. I want it to be very like blown out looking. Okay. So you can definitely see the wing. It's not very dramatic and it's a brown color. So now I'm gonna grab a makeup wipe and just clean up under here because I'm done with eyes for now. For foundation today, I am going to be using my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. It is in the color 2N, which is Maple. I had to wipe off my eyeliner off the back of my hand because I do put this on my hand to load up my brush. Putting this much on my hand to start with, and I'm using a Sigma F34 angled kabuki brush to just go in and load up my brush. I start on the outer perimeter of my face and just kind of buff it into my skin. This is a very buildable foundation, or tinted moisturizer rather. Okay, so you might be able to tell just between the two sides of my face, one just has a little bit more coverage and evenness to it than this side. I'm gonna do the same exact thing on the other side. I'm going to use the tiniest bit of color corrector. This is old and you'll never be able to find it. It's from Becca and it looks like this, like a warm, it's almost orange, the color of it. And I'm just gonna go in with a clean brush because this is in my kit and just pat it on the spots that I need a little color correcting on, which is that spot right there. I'm gonna put it just in this hollow section of my under eye as well, and you can already tell the difference. Okay, so I just put it on there kind of messily, and now I'm gonna go in and blend that out and then put a concealer that is my skin tone over top. My skin tone or lighter, because obviously you want some brightness to your under eye area. Nothing's going to hide the texture of this zit in between my eyes because there's just no taking away from that. But we can at least take the darkness out of it a tiny bit. That's all we can do because we're real girls. So I have a couple favorite concealers. Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer in medium beige is a fantastic option. I also have the Natasha Denona Concealer, High Glam Concealer in shade N4. Absolutely love her. I also have the color correcting from Kosas. This is the Revealer Extra Bright in the shade Magic. This is like a pinkier tone. You could use either one of these. The darker, this is for medium to deep skin, or you can use the more pinky shade to color correct any blue under your eyes. My skin is more of like a medium to light skin tone, so I can kind of get away with either of those. So I used the darker one just because I needed it on this spot in between my eyes, and I just wanted to use whatever was left on my brush under my eyes. Anyway, for the normal person, I think this Kosas concealer would be a great option if you are having trouble concealing your under eye area and just need a little bit of extra coverage. So put that on under your eyes first, then go in with your shade or lighter concealer. I'm going to use the Natasha Denona High Glam and just tap it very lightly over top and do some motions that are around my under eye, but also bringing it down towards the side of my nose in the center of my face. So dragging it up along my side of my eye to really help my eyeshadow and add some lift. I'm going to diffuse that here momentarily as well. But just tap, tap, tap to blend that in. Bring it down my nose a little bit, up here, whatever is left on my brush, and just really blending that in. Okay, can you tell a difference? Hopefully you can. Time to do the other side. I put a little too much on this side, so I'm just going to go back in and blend with some whatever was left of foundation on here. On a separate brush, I'm going to go back in with one of my neutral eyeshadows and just kind of diffuse that some more to make it not such a sharp line where my concealer and eyeshadow met and the wing. Just make it a little bit softer and blend that out. I'm also going to add a touch of concealer under my jawline to just add some highlight to bring that forward and add some coverage as well. Can you see that? I'm going to be adding my contour or bronzer shade right there, and this just kind of will help define it even more. Don't forget, liquids always before powders. So I am going to now go in with a cream bronzer. This is the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. And I'm going to just take a small brush, ColourPop F5 brush. It's kind of small and dense. And I'm just going to go in where my bronzer normally goes and just do some big swooping motions right here to make it really diffused. Okay. And I like how that looks. And you can see compared to this side of my face, it just adds that definition back in where we used a lot of coverage. And we know exactly where to put this because we did the concealer under our eyes and we did the concealer down here. So this middle area is where we want to add that definition back in. I also take a little bit on the sides of my nose to really snatch it up. Don't forget to do your forehead where you naturally get lots of sun. And blend, blend, blend. Now I'm going in with a cream blush and then we'll be ready for powder. So I am using a Fenty Beauty Strawberry Pop Matchstick. I think I've talked about this before. You can use it as a blush or as a lip product. Just kind of makes your lips look like you ate a strawberry popsicle. Now I'm taking my brush and just kind of loading it up and applying it to the apples of my cheeks as my first layer, and I will be adding some powder over top of it. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Load up my brush and just tap, tap, tap. Going back in with a concealer brush and just making sure everything is still blended before I set. Make sure there's nothing sitting in the creases under the eyes. I'm going in just with a mattifying powder. This is from Sephora, and a small brush, and just putting this in my T-zone where I don't want any shine. Also gonna take a little bit and put it under here where the concealer was, just to set that a little bit more. Then on a bigger, fluffier brush, Kosas Cloud Set in the color Feathery. It has the slightest shimmer to it, and I'm just putting that over top to set everything first. I have like one big thing of sparkle that I need to get off. Some tweezers. Hold on one second. I don't know where that fleck came from. Whew. Okay. So now we're going back in with a bronzer. I'm going to use a Jane Iredale So Bronze 3. This is what it looks like. I don't even know if they make this anymore, to be honest with you. And just going back in right here to set my bronzer. Pinch my brush to do the sides of my nose. Bring it down my neck. I'm just going to put on, it's from this Dior palette, Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. I'm using the pink blush color to just add that shimmer and pink back to my cheeks. And then if that wasn't enough shimmer, I'm going to add some highlight. This is the Cookie Highlighter from Benefit. Take a fan brush, this is very important. And then you just go on the tops of the cheeks. And if you got heavy-handed, don't worry, just go back in with your blush and blend it out. So everything that I wanted to be set is set. Now let's put some brows on. I don't know if they make this right now either, but I'm using the Benefit Browsings Pro Palette, and it looks like this. We've got some waxes, we've got, oh hello, and we've got some powders. So I just used the little brush that it came with. It has a spoolie on one end, and I am brushing my brows up just to find the shape. And then I go in with the darkest of the wax, just because I like the color that it gives and the hold. And I just quite literally just like define my brows. Just add a little bit of shape to the outside and to the arch is where I find that I put the most on. And then a little bit up at the top too. Okay, don't forget, brows are sisters, not twins, I think is the saying. Just do your best. Do little short strokes. That makes it the most natural. Okay, that looks great. Moving on. Okay, so next what I want to do is put on some white eyeshadow or some sort of sparkly light highlighter color in the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm just gonna go back in with my Cookie highlighter and take a small brush, put that on the inner corners. Now it is time to set with the One Size Powder Melt to just kind of take away that powdery look from your skin. This is step 1 of 2 finishing sprays that I like to use. While that is drying, find your favorite lip liner. Right now, the one that I am loving, if you like a neutral but pink lip, this is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the color Whipped Caviar. And I'm just going to line. It's kind of like a Your Lips but pinker color. I do have a defined Cupid's bow, but now I just kind of connect them, and that kind of gives the illusion of a lip flip or some lip filler. I have a big bottom lip and a small top lip, so that just kind of gives the illusion of a fuller top lip. Okay, now I'm going to curl my lashes and put on my mascara. These are my lashes with no mascara after curling. Right now I'm using the Milani Highly Rated Lash Extensions mascara for my tubing mascara. That's the one that I keep in my makeup bag. I do have a sample of the Sephora Size Up Volume Extra Large mascara, and I really like this. I like the volume that it gives. It is not tubing. But it came in a little samples thing that I bought, so also not me already getting mascara on my eyelid. Don't worry, I'll tell you how to get that off. Don't touch it, let it dry on your eyelid, or else it'll smear around everywhere. Probably my favorite of all time mascara that's also tubing is the one from Hourglass. It is my favorite. I'll make sure to have all of these products linked below, or just in a big section in my Shop My or Like to Know It for you to easily shop. I don't purposefully add mascara to my lower lashes because they are so freakishly long. When I blink, it just kind of transfers down there. It almost looks scary when I try to put mascara down there myself. So I just let it do its thing. And if one eye gets more than the other, I will just use the very tip of my mascara wand to kind of make them look more even. But even then, it's pretty risky trying to do that because I mess it up real easily. Like, I'm about to try it right now because I've got more on this eye than this eye. I'm gonna clean up my eyeshadow with a spoolie. It can be like, I use the one from my brows. I go in and scrape off any dried mascara from my eyelid if I made a mess. And that should just come right off. Almost done. I am going to set, there it is. Ooh, so sorry. Final step is putting on the L'Oreal Infallible spray. Very inexpensive, but works like the one size setting spray. It's essentially hairspray for your face. And if you're like me and associate smells with places, that smells like Animal Kingdom Lodge to me. That spray, I got it before we went on a Disney trip, and now it will always smell like that forever for me. I'm gonna put on a little gloss. Okay, I'm gonna put on the Fenty Beauty Heat Fussy, let me start over. I'm gonna put on the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy Heat. Okay, that is the final look. And I think this would be a wonderful Easter look. It's not too dramatic. It's very like more of a defined lash line, blown out, shimmery spring daytime makeup. Really pretty coverage on the skin, but nothing too full coverage because we use that tinted moisturizer. Very hydrated looking because we used plenty of powdered highlighter. We used a blush that had a shimmer to it, and then we set with the powder melt. So it's a very glowy look as well. You wouldn't know, that I'm extremely dry and just put NIVEA cream on my face as my moisturizer. I think this is a very good look for daytime. It can take you into nighttime if you wanted to add a little bit of bronzer to a small brush and just kind of go in under your lash line with that. Oh, so sorry. That is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions about any products or how I did anything today. I am a Disney travel planner as well, so if you are interested in planning a trip over the summer, they've got some great deals out right now, or for fall break next year, spring break next year, Christmas time, whenever. I would love to be a resource for you in that way as well. And yeah, I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to April. Happy Easter. He is risen, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.